search for existing stream, it always shows the Cyberpunk stream as one of the options for some red reason. I don't know why.
That's why.
By the way, is Eunice L one of our regulars, or is that like a new person? Like, do you know who Eunice L is?
I have no idea.
So that must be a new person, is it? Because there's a comment, like literally the first comment is from someone named Eunice L.
Yeah, I know.
And
also, I know we're live.
Pardon?
Also, I know we're live.
I don't know what I didn't understand a word you just said there. All I heard was blah, 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 blah.
I said, and yes, I don't know who that is. Mm-hmm. But yes, I know we're live as well. I do know that we're live is what I meant to say.
Oh, I know you know that we're live. I mean, it's not like I can surprise you anymore. Like that's not the thing that I try for. And to be honest, even the times that it seemed like I did try to surprise you, I didn't. You just didn't know that I went live, and I just kept going essentially. But
no, I always
know. Why is my phone vibrating?
It's a dildo. I mean, it's oh shit.
Actually, just came back from the laundromat, and my phone's been it's vibrating over on the. Oh, I have a missed call from my brother.
He's like, thanks for saving my ass yesterday.
Yeah, I've actually got a message from my sister-in-law as well. Yeah, so I'm just gonna text my brother and tell him, hey, recording a podcast. Text.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. So hello, welcome.
I was gonna say I can start us.
I mean, well, I realized you didn't, so I'm starting it. Hello and welcome to episode 12 of the Innocent Cast, and today we're covering the anime Words Bubble Up Like Soda Pop. I gotta say, when you say the soda pop, you gotta be like,
yeah, soda pop.
Yeah, words bubble up like soda pop. That is our anime for today. Now, the choice for this today, like, I'll straight up tell you, like, this was random as frack, like, really, really random. And the reason I say it's random as frack is because we were intending to cover something else, and then we were just looking at the time and everything like that. And I had family over. My niece was with us this weekend and all that kind of stuff. And one of the things is when you have a bunch of kids in the house and all that kind of stuff, you know, essentially what happens is you don't really get as much time to do stuff that you usually would do. So for example, I literally have not been on my computer since Thursday to now. I've barely touched my computer, right? And because like, well, you know, I'm looking after all these chibis, man. I don't got time to sit by the screen and look at anything. So I didn't even get a chance to.
You see, you're parenting wrong, man. When you have more chibis, the less time you have to take care of them. They start taking care of each other. They're hunky fucking, but go out and have some snacks. Whatever dad's, dad left fucking pasta in the kitchen, but burn the house down. Once dad is happy playing his games on his computer, just allow him. Leave him alone. Don't touch the man. Don't disturb him.
You would be surprised. Like the thing is that they do need attention for some reason, because like they'll be playing for a bit and I'll be thinking, oh, you know what? They're having a great old time. They don't need me. Because I remember when I was a kid, I didn't need my folks. Once I had my mates over and we were hanging out, like, I don't even want to see my folks, because the moment I see them, I know they're going to end the fun. That's when I see those fun enders, right? That's what they are. Fun enders. Police. You know, they come in, they're like, oh, okay, kids, it's getting a bit late. You got to go to bed, or whatever kind of nonsense that they're going to try to, catch us with. But I'm not that kind of person. I'm not the one coming in and be like, let's end the fun. They're coming to me like, my niece is coming, Uncle Q, can you play with us? Or, my chibi comes in and he's like, oh, can you play with us? So like, for me, it's like, sort of like, they come in looking for attention, more or less. And obviously what that means is that if you try to do anything, it will end. So what I essentially did was I would not do anything that would require me, because at some point they would just want to play alone, just them. But then they would get somehow bored of each other or distracted from each other, and then they would want me. so that happened. So hence the reason why we were gonna do the anime. What was the anime we were gonna do before instead of doing this one?
Romance Killer.
Romance Killer. That's the one we were going to do. But when we, considering all the time it would take and all that kind of stuff, I just didn't have time to watch a whole series and then keep an eye on kids. So then I went through Netflix trying to find an anime that we could watch that was in English, because you didn't want to watch it in anything in Japanese with dub. And so when I searched, I found this. And the minute I saw the cover for it, like the look, I literally instantly texted you and was like, hey, like this is the name, like. And what do you when I send you the name, like what the fuck were you think? Because I know you responded to me like kind of confused.
Yeah, I actually texted you and said, "Wait, is that the name of the anime?" Oh the god, yeah, I was very confused. I looked at the cover as well, and I actually thought the art style reminded me of the creators of Castle in the Sky or whatever, So for me it was like, oh yeah, okay. Oh no, sorry, not Castle in the Sky. Fuck, I thought of that was the other show. Wait, my bad. I'm fucking mixing shit up. When I saw the cover of this one, I thought, because you see the cover before you click on anime, and I thought to myself like, wait, this looks so. You know how I looked at Cyberpunk and I wasn't too sure if it was anime or not, like because of the art style. This one was also hitting me with some kind of like wishy-washy kind of art style vibe. So I wasn't too sure getting into this, but I do know that I was.
When you say wishy-washy kind of art style, what do you mean by wishy-washy kind of art style? Well, what does that mean?
I don't. Okay, so that sounds like I'm like being like.
Don't tiptoe around your words. The thing about there's no judgment on this podcast. Go for it.
Look, I thought it was shit. Okay. No.
You can't just say like that. You gotta be like hot doo-doo cakes.
That shit was hot doo-doo. No, I didn't think that. I actually was thinking like I look at the cover and I thought, all right, it's wishy-washy. It's like it is what it is. It's gonna be something that's very slice of lifey. It's gonna be like the first thing I saw was like, okay, this is definitely slice of life. Even before I think you DM'd me what kind of anime it was gonna be, but like the title was like, okay, yeah, this is like the most slice of life anime we're gonna be seeing on this show. I think there's actually our first slice of life as well. There's gonna be like our first slice of life, and also our first movie. So yeah, also guys, warning for everyone because we're gonna be talking about spoilers. So if you want to get spoiled, you can stay. That's your spoiler warning. So stay here and get spoiled, or go watch it and then come back and watch our podcast first, get spoiled, then go watch it, and then come back and agree with us. No, but I watched it and I thought the art style was very interesting. Now I don't want to tell you. I guess we could dive into it a little bit because I don't want to I don't want to go into that right away because that wasn't my intention. But since we're on that subject, I guess I do have to say that the show was very beautiful. Like when he was crawling up the steps and then they showed like first person POV, kind of like the camera like shakes up and down, or when he like ran up that hill and then it followed him and then the camera stopped and then it did like this, like, in GTA when you're driving a car and you can press like camera like further behind, even further behind, and then it goes into like action scene camera. They did like that in the freaking anime, and I was like, holy shit, why don't they do this more in anime? So, it's getting some props there. I'm a big sucker for how things look, as Q probably, and I guess most of you guys who are listening in post or who have listened to previous episodes might have realized that I actually like anime visually. I'm not saying that Bleach is the best anime because, it probably looks like one of the best. Like, I don't judge anime like that, but my overall judgment on things is not necessarily beautiful, but like I would definitely play a game like, for me, it's like hard to play a game like Minecraft, for example. I think Minecraft is a great game. Just like to touch on that real quick. As opposed to I think the gameplay is great, but if it looked better, I would play it. So I would never play it until they made a new Minecraft has different graphic, or at least not like everything is cubic. Then again, I understand
4K HD.
Yeah, like Minecraft, but it's like as realistic as possible. Then I would just insta play it. I would spend all day building all kind of shit. But just because. So yeah, I'm a graphics over gameplay. I know I'm gonna get hated by a lot of gamers, but I'm a big gamer myself. I like, it's not only it, but it does pull me in. Like that shit does pull me in. I'm not gonna lie. I'm honest with myself. But back to the anime. I think it looked great from the start. Like just looking at the cover. So we're still talking about the cover here. Looked great from the start. I wasn't too sure how I felt about it. I did get some cyberpunk vibes where it's like, it's not anime, but like it is, right? But it's not like I can look at the anime and say, oh, this is from 2010s, this is like from the early 2010s. This is from late 2010s, like close to 2020. I can tell it's like, like Inuyasha, where it's like, you can tell it's like the mid 2000s, So you can tell an anime by how its art style is, and this show, I couldn't pick it up. Like, I knew it was new, right? But I also thought like, it's like everything is kind of like seamless in a way. It's very vibrant. It's very colorful. What did you think, you? Actually, I'm curious.
What did I think of the anime?
Yeah, like just your initial thoughts.
Is this all you want to say about it so far? Because I may go on a rant. So
no, that's me.
You have nothing else you want to add to it?
Guys. Okay, have a good night. We'll see you on Sunday.
Just keep in mind, I may go on a bloody rant about this one.
Go on. I want to hear what you say because I'm kind of like, I could say more, but I want to hear what you say, and then I'll allow anything.
No, I want you to say more. I'm telling you, mate. I could possibly go on a rant for this one. Like, I want to hear what you have to say because I'm very keen to know your opinion more so than mine at this particular point in time.
Well, okay, since you normally break down the anime, I'm going to try and do my best Q impression here, and I'm going to be putting on my British accent.
Hello, governor, crumpets and all.
Hello, crumpets and all, mate. You fucking cunt. All right, listen, yeah. Firstly, all right, it's fucking set in Japan. You know where Japan is? It's in fucking next to China, right? Okay? No, but, okay, so firstly, this anime starts off really... weirdly, I guess, you see like the two characters, then you see the old man and the like main character. I guess I'm gonna call them the main male character. I guess I'm just gonna call him that. I'm gonna call him Headphones. You see Headphones, he's in our thumbnail, by the way, on the like YouTube version of this podcast, if you guys are there or watching in post or whatever, like, or sorry, if you're listening in post but you're from another website and you're wondering what we have as a GIF, we have the two main characters as a GIF currently. And the scene starts off with this character who is, it's, I guess, a very modern world, which I want to touch on a little bit, like the modernity. I would say it's probably even like 2000, like 2020 or some shit. So this character runs over the street. He almost gets hit by a car, and then he runs over to talk to this old man who I'm guessing is not supposed to be where he is. That's the feeling I got. He runs up, he talks to him, he gets him back to the place, and then you realize he's a young bloke. He seems like he's very antisocial and he's only able to kind of chill with old people, which for me, I can relate to. Like I prefer hanging out with, I guess, people a bit older than me. Like, old people for me are very easygoing and very easy to kind of talk to. And I get like that kind of vibes. And then the second thing you see is this like little anime waifu, right? This little girl, and she's all like getting ready and she's doing stuff. And then you realize like she has like, I thought she was smiling the whole time, but you realize she has like buck teeth, right? She has two. She has like if this wasn't made by Japanese people, I would say this is the most racist ever, because like the stereotypical buck teeth thing is like terrible. But she has the buck teeth, right? Like, let's be real, people have that. It's something I never. It actually made me kind of self-conscious a little bit. Not that my teeth are buck or anything. I have like pretty. I've got crooked teeth, so I can basically say, like, you know what, I relate, I relate to her buck teeth, but go on. Well, actually, I relate to her with the mask thing, because when I realized we started wearing masks. Oh wait, let me just break it out. Oh, she also wears like a COVID mask, by the way. She wears like a COVID mask.
It's not really called a COVID mask, is it? It's just a safety mask for a respiratory mask. Isn't that what they call it? A respiratory mask?
No, I call it a COVID mask. Okay, it's called a COVID mask. You guys know what I mean. And basically, what happens is she is very self-aware of her teeth, and it's kind of cool because she's you don't really find this out right away, but she's actually also a streamer. Like, she live streams, she has chats, and she's actually light for her teeth. But then she gets old and she realizes that, they're ugly or whatever. And
that's, I wouldn't say she realizes they're ugly. She has a whole sense of insecurities about it as she gets older, because no one tells her that it's ugly. Like, throughout this entire film, no one tells her that her teeth are ugly. She just gets older, starts to have insecurities about her own personal appearance with regards to her teeth, and makes that decision that I want to cover this up. That's what she does, right? But go on. Let me not cut in.
Put the muzzle back on, okay, motherfucker. So this character, for me, she's relatable because talking about the mask real quick. She has this mask, right? And she's how to word it? She's feeling insecure, right? That's the best way to put it. She's feeling very insecure.
That is the word.
And for me, she's relatable, not because like I never like it. Well, firstly, what was going through my mind was like, oh, right, with people with teeth and stuff. And I remember watching like videos on people who have like crooked teeth or just like discolored teeth. Like this was like a survey they did in England about like the NHS and stuff. I actually watched this really recently. I just like it came up on whatever I was watching, like YouTube or whatever. And basically it was like doing a test to see how people would judge you depending on your teeth. So it would be like if you have like perfect teeth, you're like, you're like a smart, intelligent, you should be a doctor, scientist, whatever. Like you probably work for NASA, so you're probably Elon Musk's, best friend or whatever, right? And then you have slightly yellow teeth, which is like, okay, you're still smart, but maybe that's trustworthy. And then they actually started rating people, and there was like different people, different ratings, but they used the same like 10 people, like they just showed a bunch of 10 people with like the same 10 people, but then like another set of people they would show them but with less colored teeth. And you can say, well, they might have said that about whatever, but the study on it was really interesting because the worse your teeth are, quote unquote, the less trustworthy, smart, and all kinds of like people already prejudge you just based on your smile. And it's kind of like, this I guess is our reality as humans. We judge people on, eye size and even complexion and stuff, which is crazy. But, and then we're going back to this like character, right? So she has crooked teeth and she has a mask on. And the way I relate to it is because I have a scar on my face that I find very...
You have a scar on your face?
Yeah, I have a scar on my face and I find it very...
I did not notice.
Awkward. Yeah. No one notices it, but it's actually a very personal thing with me that I find like it's like the worst thing. It's like my worst feature. Like actually, I've been gaining weight and I still don't even care about that. It's like it's that bad that like my weight gain has been like it's like inferior in comparison because it's like something I'm subconscious about all the time. I don't actually tell anyone about it, so you probably would have never noticed. But
so we're all like, on this podcast here right now. We're all the first to know about this. And by the way, welcome to everyone in the chat, Nalu, everyone else. Please make sure to drop a like and share the podcast. But so we're one of the first to hear about your own personal insecurities. I guess we should just talk about insecurities on this episode, isn't it?
Well, this anime is about insecurities. That's actually the crazy thing. This whole anime is about. We'll talk about headphones a little bit later, but I'll just break it on him like really quickly. But just because she for me is relatable because when COVID happened and I could wear the mask, I was way like it's like night and day how different I am if I have a mask on and if I don't. Like my eyes move more, like my facial expression, and it's so easy to hide who you are behind a mask, technically. And I thought about like it's crazy, and I'm gonna start talking about not BDO this time about League. Like there's a character called Jin, and he wears a mask, and he's like, we all have masks, and he just chooses to wear his own kind of mask, like he makes his own mask. But what he's saying is kind of funny because you could put on a mask and you can feel like someone else. You put on Spider-Man mask and you're Spider-Man, or whatever, right? But she's relatable in that sense because I don't have buck teeth, but she puts on a mask to hide that part of her face, which is her mouth. Yeah, and my scar is really close to my mouth, so it's like on my chin. And for me, I hate it, right? Like if I could just snap my fingers and make it go away, I would do that, right? And either way, so for me, she was kind of relatable in that sense, and I was just like, damn, like, and I actually watched this. I watched this anime with my wife,
really,
and she didn't say anything about it, but I was like, I thought she would have because she knows, like, obviously about me, but yeah, I think overall, this character, she's like a very nice character. She's very loving. She's like not awkward. She's not, like a terrible person or anything. She's actually like a very fun loving, and she's very active and very sociable when it comes to her chat because she's she's streaming for hundreds of people. Like her chat had like 150. Okay, obviously there
was hundreds. Like, it felt like there were more.
No, she had like 1,000 likes and stuff, but she had like 175 like active viewers, and she had like a bunch of subscribers as well. And her chat was popping off and emojiing, and it felt really realistic.
Did you feel a bit jealous of her while it was going on? You're like, God damn it, why isn't my chat that active?
I actually was a bit jealous as a streamer. I'm not gonna lie. I did feel like, damn, bro. Even virtual, like even 2D waifus have more followers than me, bro. Like, sheesh. That's the reality we've come to, where I'm actually jealous of a fictional character. yeah, she seemed great, and with headphones, because I'm gonna let you talk because I don't want to just take up all the time. But headphones, I'm gonna call him the actual main character, I would say, not because he's a man, but because I feel like they follow him a lot more than anyone else.
I think they focus on him a lot. Yeah, so that is true.
Yeah, and his issue is that he likes being literate in the terms of like written literacy. So he's very like, he's proper, he likes to spell, he's very I won't say intelligent really, but he's very like, he's not antisocial, he just doesn't like talking. And he does these things called a haiku, which, if you guys don't know, for those who are listening and they might not know, a haiku is something that basically you like write down. It could be like, well, actually it's a tradition in Japan specifically.
Is it like short haikus. Poetry, something like that?
Yeah, it's like short
poetry?
It's like a short poetry. They usually write it on like a scroll or a piece of wood with a blank white side on, and they just paint it on usually. And it could be like, like a student, a master is always an eternal student, something like that. Like that's a haiku, right? Like if you're a real master, you're eternally a student, because you're always trying to learn. And there's like, there's all sorts of haikus that you can go on Google, and they're pretty cool actually. And I actually remember them because of a different show that I watched, which is called James May Going to Japan. I remember him talking about haikus, like literally like the first episode is only like 3 or 4 episodes long. But I won't talk too much about it. But James May is from Top Gear. If you guys didn't know, most of you guys who are from England
Captain Slow.
Yeah, exactly. It's literally that James May. It's literally him just going to Japan and doing stuff in Japan, which is a must watch if you love Japan. Which I imagine most of you listening to this podcast might do. Obviously, might be someone interested because you like anime and it's from Japan. But yeah, so he likes haikus. But he never talks about them out loud. Like he'll talk about them a little bit, but he'll never like read them out loud, and he finds it very awkward. And he's a very interesting character as well. So the show is basically about those two characters mostly. There's some other like because it's a movie, right? So there's obviously some other underlying plots, but yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say, except for the technology and stuff as well, which I'll touch on later. But yeah.
Okay, so I guess before I actually get into my rant, and for those of you who are regulars, like Eunice, who's saying that he checks out HPMP, and Nalu, and of course Racha popping in the chat here. You guys know that I love a good rant, and this anime is a good rant for me, hands down. This anime is a masterpiece to me. This is a 10 out of 10 easily. I have
okay.
Yes, it is that good. Wow. Like for me, this is a personal thing. We may not all agree upon this. This anime is a 10 out of 10 for me. I loved every minute. I kid you not. There were moments where I almost teared up. Like I was in the laundromat getting my clothes washed. And during that ending scene, as the music is playing nice and so I have my earbuds in, and I'm like teared up. I'm like, holy shit, it's so cute. This is some good shit. Like honestly, I loved it. I loved it. Like on it, like the whole thing about insecurities and stuff like that. I love how you shared some of yours, Rare, like that you shared your personal insecurity and stuff like that. Like for me, one of my personal insecurities. Just
don't tell anyone, okay? Chat, it's all secret.
It's all secret. If they don't listen to this podcast, they don't deserve to know. But this is one of my own personal insecurities. For me, I've got a crooked tooth, and it's like on my lower jaw. And the thing is that this tooth is crooked, and my dentist has said, you should come in and just get like braces, should sort that out easily or whatever have you and so forth. And I just haven't done it. And so it's one of those things that for me, whenever I take a picture, excuse me, yeah, whenever I take a picture or I look at my reflection and stuff like that, I notice it and I'm like, I wish it wasn't like it wasn't like sticking out like that, because it like all the rest of my other teeth kind of look fine. But that one too, because of how crooked it is, it just stands out to me. And I notice it in videos when I record. I notice it in pretty much everything I do, to be honest. Once I'm on screen, once my face is in there. And so knowing that these characters in the anime, you know, Cherry, who's the guy character, I love his name, Cherry. I thought that was a cool name, Cherry.
You have to explain though about his name. I think.
Well, his name basically means cherry blossom in Japanese. And so everyone just calls him Cherry. Yeah, Sakura is a cherry blossom in Japanese, but everyone just calls him Cherry, you know, as like for short. So which I think is so cute, you know, like, you know, they're calling him Cherry. And then the girl, her name is Smile. And that's like her username for her streaming thing. And Smile is cute. Smile is proper cute. You know, she's got her little hair bangs and, you know, she got a little buck tooth thing going on. You know, I think buck teeth are cute, to be honest. I think that little, I call them rabbit teeth. You know, I think rabbit teeth are cute. You know, I think they're adorable. And yeah, like generally, like, and then you have all the characters. I believe the two girls who hangs out with Smile, I think they are her sisters.
I think so, yeah. They never said, but they never straight up told us who they were. But they, like, my assumption is that they are her sisters, you know, and the whole relationship between them also comes off very cute. You know, then you have the guys that hang out with Cherry, and to a certain extent, when you see the guys who are hanging out with him, a lot of these characters, all like throughout this film, a lot of characters who get a lot of like on-screen time, they're all connected in some way, shape, or form. The boys who are creating trouble and spray painting stuff and doing graffiti, they're all connected to Sherry or Smile or however and all this sort of stuff. And it's so sweet, just the way the characters interact and stuff like that. And then you have this older character that you mentioned at the beginning, Mr. Fujiyama. Mr. Fujiyama. Yes. Mr. Fujiyama is basically like he's just a lovesick puppy. Like, you know, the whole show is all about how he's basically trying to hunt down this record. That is like the sweetest thing ever. Like this record that his late wife made, and he can't find it. He's looking everywhere, and he can't. All he has is the case for it. He can't find the record, and he wants to hear her voice again because he's afraid he's gonna forget her, and he's gonna forget what she sounds like. Well, you actually don't know about it. Sorry to interrupt. You don't actually know who it's about first.
Well, obviously, we were spoiling the shit out of this anime. You did drop the water at the beginning. And it's so sweet. He's hunting for this record because he needs it for his missus. He doesn't want to forget her voice. And to me, that made me so like I felt for him. Like it was such an emotional sort of like part of the story, you know. There he is feeling for his missus. He's like, oh, I could forget about her. What if I forget her and stuff? And then you have just the other characters around, and then as they find out slowly what's going on. You know, I spotted the clock ages ago. Like the minute the clock was on screen, I was like, wait a minute, isn't that the same thing on the back of the record?
Wait, really?
I spotted instantly. Like the minute that I saw the back of the record, and then they went to another scene and they were in the same room. I was like,
oh, yeah.
That
I know
clock has the same kind of thing as the record. And even when she broke the record, there's a scene where Smile breaks the record, right? So the minute Smile picks up the record after they find it, right? Yeah. And they're basically like all excited and stuff. And Sherry goes to get the cables out in front, and Smile is like carrying the record around. I'm like, oh my God, why doesn't she put the bloody thing down? Isn't this so precious? Like, why is she carrying this with her? And Smile is just going everywhere with it. Oh my God, it's so cute, it's so pretty, blah. And I'm like, it's my brain is just thinking like, holy shit, something bad is gonna happen. Like, there's no reason for her to keep carrying this record. She should have just given it to someone to hold or put it down on the turntable. And then when she sees the waves in the record, because she gets so excited when Sherry, like, she asked him to go to the fireworks with her and all that kind of stuff. And she gets so excited when Sherry says, yeah, let's go, right? Which I don't think that was him saying yes to her. I think that was him saying, let's go back into the room. Even though he does like her, but I think he was just too nervous to respond. I think, she hugs the record and it's like, oh my God. And I'm like, this is gonna break this thing. It's gonna break. Like in my mind, I'm like, this is bloody well gonna break. And I'm laying in bed watching this, and I'm just like, you know when someone like scrapes their nails across a board, or you see someone get a bad bruise or something, and you're like, ooh, that's you know what? The best example to give is as a bloke, when you see another bloke get kicked in the nuts. It's like you feel it for him even though you haven't felt it, because you already know what it's like to get hit in the nuts. So it's like, ooh, in the nuts. That's the whole feeling I had the whole time she's holding this record. And then when she's like, oh, I'll straighten it out. I'm like, no, girl, that's not how records work. You can't do that. You know, my inner soul chucker dude started to come out, you know, when you're watching a horror movie and you're like, don't go in there, dude, it's gonna kill you. No, bitch, no. So I watch it, and I'm literally like thinking like, holy shit, like she's gonna break it, and then it breaks, and I'm like, no, Smile, what have you done? And then the whole scene sort of like cuts away, and they don't really like show. And this is one of the things I love about this show as well, is like not everything needs to be shown or exposition needs to be given. A lot of it is just subtle. They don't show you the reaction of Mr. Fujiyama after it breaks. They don't show you the reaction of everyone else seeing the broken record. All you see is Sherry's reaction, and then it cuts to the next day.
If I can touch on that, I did feel like it felt a bit rushed. Like that was my opinion on it, at least. But
I disagree. But go on.
That's fair enough. Also, I also felt like she was gonna break it, but I thought she was gonna fall. I didn't think she was gonna like. I actually thought, oh god, she's too excited. She's gonna trip. Typical freaking Moe scene in every Moe character, and just fall and boop boop boop. And it literally like triple flips, slaps the table, flips, cracks, drops, and then like it's not salvageable at all. But
it's gone. No Smile.
Go on. I didn't mean to continue. I just wanted to point that out.
Loving it. But yeah, the thing is like, and to get to that point you made, like you felt like it was rushed. I liked that certain things were sort of like skipped over, because I feel in a lot of films, especially the ending, like I did not want like, oh, they're going to show a scene of them hugging and kissing or any of that. I like that they just left it open-ended. Like it ended where he confessed to her, she gives him that smile, and then the music starts playing. That's the ending. To me, that's a perfect ending in a film. It leaves everything up to the imagination of the viewer in such a nice little way, but you're already given the impression that all things are well with the series. You know, all things are well with the characters, and that's just such a good, happy-go-lucky, beautiful feeling going into it like that. And then with every, you know, one scene I felt like I wish they had shown more, but then after it went on, I was like, I'm fine with it. Was them returning the phones to each other, because they didn't show anything like that. Literally, they talk on the phone, and then it cuts to them in the.
Well, she's looking. Mall. She's looking, right? Yeah.
So
she doesn't actually give it back at all. She's just watching him, and he's looking in the mall.
No, at that point, are you talking about when he's doing the haiku thing?
Doing the haiku thing. Oh
no, they already swapped the phones. They had already swapped the phones by then, because I think the scene before she was on her phone. So they had and she said to herself, when he was doing the haiku thing, she was like, how is. Because not when she saw when her sisters and her saw him walking by with the older lady, and they're like, oh my god, he's into older chicks, and then they were like, you know, he's got a speech impediment, and he's still like, he's got a problem with talking to him, and he's still like, you know, hanging out with older chicks. Like, so she had already spoken to him by then. At that point in time, they had already swapped the phones. She figured out that Sherry had a thing, and they probably didn't show that. They skipped over that interaction, and then you have this one where you can see that Smile is like totally crushing on him. Like she's checking him out from a distance. She's like, looking kind of good, Sherry. You know, she's totally checking. I am there for all of that. I'm just like, yes, sir. Get in there, you know?
Oh my God.
And so Smile is totally, she's putting on the proper creep on, and it is so good. And then you have just all of his friends, like, and Japan is like a huge fan of Smile. Like, he's just like,
well I would say huge, but because he's fans of another girl more. He's fans of that, Hikario or whatever.
The cardboard girl?
Yeah. But he knows who Smile is.
He knows who Smile is.
Like, he goes full fanboy on her as soon as she picks up the phone.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's crazy.
He totally went fanboy for Smile, and to me it's just. And I also like the fact that they use their nicknames more than anything else. You know, because like her name isn't Smile, her name is Yuki, but everyone just calls her Smile. In the same way, like his mate who basically is like you know, an otaku or whatever have you, and like knows all these waifus and stuff. They call him Japan, but I'm 100% sure his name is not Japan, right? Like I am 100% sure that dude's name is not Japan. Like it can't be, you know.
What does it actually say on the website? If you
it doesn't say for him. It just says Japan, but I don't think it's his name. Like honest, because everyone else has a name. Like one of the guys' name is Beaver. His name's not bloody Beaver. They're called like that's his nickname. Beaver is not his name,
bro. His parents are like, bro, this dude gonna look like a beaver. Okay.
Nope, not Beaver. Totally not Beaver. You know, but it's so not even like for example, and I think one of the most like you know like holy shit moments for me in this film as well was when they introduced Mr. Fujiyama's daughter, and then that one of his mates is her son, and it's like, holy shit, like. All this time,
like she already had like a daughter, I guess you find out that the mom like kind of dies right after she says it, and then you're just like, oh, and then you realize like he's actually related, like it's a grandpa, right? But
yeah,
you never think you would see the daughter, you know? At least I didn't. I would just think like, okay, it's his grandpa, and then one thing though I have to say, speaking of parents and stuff, I have to say I fucking find it nice for once that we actually get to see the fucking parents of like the anime characters, like and then Yuki gets the fucking or Smile she gets the meet, well, semi meet, I guess they do like introduce and stuff like off screen, but you actually get to see them introduce like normally it's like, you know, they do the head bow, but in most anime, at least anime series where they could show parents, like look at Naruto, like his parents are like, you know, I'm not gonna say anything, but yeah, okay, you know, like his parents aren't there, right? And in most anime, the parents like anime with parents, like anime is like allergic to having parents, like boomers in my anime, like what the hell? At least that's how I take it. It's just like the show is made for kids, adults ruin kids' fun. Okay, let's be real here. Like when I was a kid, the last thing I want to see is a bunch of adults. You know, if I'm trying to have some, you know, Digimon action going on or some weird shit, you know. But yeah, go on.
I mean, to give some insight on that, a mate of mine who lives in Japan, he mentioned to me that essentially the whole reason, at least, and I'm assuming this is from his perspective, or it could be that's just fact, but essentially the whole reason why you don't really see parents in anime is because of the fact that a lot of kids do things on their own in Japan, and parents actually might live in a different city from their kids just for work, because Japanese people tend to just focus on work and all that kind of stuff. So they may work in a different town from their kids, or they're like a guy could work in a different town from his missus and just, you know, go to work, come home, and that's about it. You know, and then he comes home on the weekend or whatever, just sending money and stuff like that. And I've seen some. There's if you guys have Curiosity Stream, there's a documentary on Curiosity Stream about, like, you know, it's about, you know, the whole Japanese experience of like working. You know, the one I watched was about this guy who works as he pretends to be people for other people, essentially. So let's say, for example, let's say you're getting married and you and your parents are estranged, but, you know, for Japanese people, it's very culturally acceptable that your parents would be introduced and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, so what you would do is you would hire him to come and pretend to be your parents. And then, then you introduce your missus and la-di-da, and then you'd have the whole marriage and all, and then you just never see them again. That's essentially how it works.
Okay, shit.
So yeah, that's his job. But he'll be away from his family and stuff for like a couple of days doing his work, and then he'll come back, like, you know, and his missus and his kids and all that kind of stuff are there and so forth. But it's a different kind of culture, I think. And so I think the whole notion where you don't see a lot of parents in those sort of anime is because of the fact that in Japan, culturally speaking, that usually tends to be how it is. Like, parents just aren't around most of the time. Not that they don't exist, but they kind of trust their kids to, like, you know, like, kids are given independence very early in Japan. You know, like, kindergartners are going to school on their own. They're not being carried to school. Like here, you drop your kid to school and you pick your kid up. You know, whereas in Japan, it's like, look, get out there. There's a school for them other kids. You figure that shit out, right?
Actually, it's a bit like that in TNT. Not kindergartners, but I feel like
primary school, you go to school, you go back and forth from school to get on your own. Which is true. Yeah, I don't know if it's the same now, but when we were going to primary school, it was, because obviously times have changed. So I don't know if it happens the same now, but I know, like, yes, in primary school, you go back and forth between school on your own, no parents coming with you and stuff like that. Because I think when I was in probably from second year or whatever, or first year, or I don't know which year I was in primary school, but when at the point when my mom stopped dropping me to school, you know, I just go to school with my lunch bag.
It was cringe actually to get dropped by your parents.
Exactly. You don't want your friends to see you drop out by your mom.
Who's that? That's some lady. I don't know.
That's a random person. You know why?
Who's who?
Stop following me, random crazy person. Go.
Get out of here. Hobo. Sweetie, I love you. Mom, I love you. Bye.
The worst is when they try to kiss you. The worst is when your parents try to, like, my mom used to try that shit. Like, the worst is when they try to give you a kiss or a hug and stuff. And they're like, no, that's not the time. Or when they try to fix your appearance, like maybe you've got you know, maybe there's something in your teeth or something.
Or you didn't tie your
my mom would straight up try to like flick a booger out of your nose, kind of like pull it out like in public. I'm like, Mom, no, what are you doing? Like,
the people TNT mom thing, bro.
Don't stick your finger in my nose like that. People are watching. You know, and she had no shame. Your finger she just stick the finger in, like, there's a booger in there, get it out. Like, oh, Mom, gross.
Yeah.
But this is just, I think this anime, this sweet slice of life beautifulness that is words bubble up like soda pop, is to me one of the best anime I have ever watched. I love the art style. I think I like the whole vibrant, colorful, sort of like pop-in look of the anime. It looks very modern, very vibrant, very, very beautiful. Essentially, the look of it all. And then the characters are all really likable, from Smile to Shetty to even the parents, you know, and the sisters. Like there's moments, like there's a moment where where Smile is just, she's so sad. I think this is after she breaks the record. And her sisters, well, the characters we think who are her sisters, which is Mira and Judy, they come up to her and they just hug her, you know, in that scene. And it's just so sweet, you know, or like when at the end where our main guy, Sherry's leaving, and the guys are like doing all they can to sort of like get him to like come back and, you know, like proper, like confess his feelings to Smile. And it's so sweet. Like all the guys, all the characters, even the ones that at the beginning you think, oh, this is a bad guy character, like for example, what's his face? They call him, I'm trying to remember the name they call this character. I think it's like Bad Guy or something, or Tough Guy. That's his name.
Tough.
Tough Boy. That's his name.
Yeah, Fujiyama's freaking grandson.
Exactly. Basically. Like when you see him, like especially when like they come into his house, like he's like, "What are you guys doing here?" You know, it's like. Then they're all like chill with each other. You know, they're all like in the same neighborhood. They're just like messing about, like kids doing kid shit. You know, like we were talking about at the beginning. Yeah, exactly. But they all know each other and they all get on well enough. And to me, I like that. I like the fact that. And I think it's good to watch anime like this every now and then. Like I probably wouldn't watch. I mean, granted, me being me, I could watch Slice of Life forever. But I do like to have a bit of action. I do like to have like a Jujutsu Kaisen to watch and stuff every now and then. But it's nice to come and just sit back and relax and not have to think too much about anything. And especially the stakes in an anime like this aren't that high, you know. It tells a very real, relatable story about life and people and their experiences and their insecurities and everything like that, all bundled up together in one. And I love that about this, you know. So, man, 10 out of 10, you know, easily.
I'm happy that you're just throwing these ratings. I'm pretty sure our viewer base, our watchers, our viewers,
watchers,
listeners as well, obviously. I'm pretty sure they all appreciate that. And I'm actually very like you. How did we start this episode? You literally just blew into like, yo, this shit is the best.
It is. It honestly is. It honestly is.
Caught me off guard a bit, actually.
There are very few anime that I rank as high as this. Like to give a straight, like for me, when I went to rate it, like I went directly to 10. Like I didn't even think about it. Like my brain just said, "This is perfect. This was a perfect watch. I enjoyed every moment of this. This is a 10 to me." Like that's how my brain went when I went to like give it a rating on my anime list. Outside of that, there are very few anime that I've watched that hit that score, that hit that 10 out of 10 for me.
That easy 10.
That easy 10, you know. There's a lot of other animes. Like, for example, when I saw the anime A Lull in the Sea, this was also on Netflix. I don't think it's on Netflix anymore, but it used to be on Netflix. When I first saw A Lull in the Sea, that instantly for me was a 10. When I first saw Beck, 10. When I first saw School Rumble, 10. You know,
Beck is a detective one, right?
No, Beck is a music anime, and it's one I think we should do. I think you'd love it. It's kind of like this, but it's different. It's kind of it's a bit edgy in some ways, but it's a classic. Okay. It's a really good classic. You know, and there are a few anime. There are some anime that I gave a 10 when I was younger, and I think if I go back to them, I probably wouldn't rate it as a 10 anymore.
Yeah.
You know, there are some that when I was younger, I would definitely have given a 10. Some I gave a 10 when I was, and I would still give it a 10. You know, so like for example, Beck, I gave a 10 when I was young, and I still give it a 10. Fullmetal Alchemist, same thing. I'd give it a 10. Wouldn't change it. But there are some anime that I look back now as an adult, and I look back at it, and I probably wouldn't give it as high. I'd probably be like, maybe it's a 9 or an 8 or something like that. It's not as good as I remember it being. You know,
I think for me, real quick on that, I really I agree with you with a lot of shit, but I think I'm also, I don't know if you feel this way as well. You might feel this way as well, but I also think like, because I'm older now, I might be able to appreciate anime more. Like maybe if I go and watch FMA, you know, I wouldn't feel the way I feel about it right now, right? Which is, I don't really know if I would like it, because I liked a few episodes, right? Without going too deep into it, I liked a few episodes, but I didn't get it. Like I didn't see what was so great about FMA, you know, Fullmetal Alchemist. So you know, that being said, I think I guess going and being an adult now, like and appreciating certain things, I actually have have appreciation that like, at least you could admit it. But I do think, for example, like my two favorite anime, which are Mirai Nikki, I guess JJK is probably like my new favorite anime. I'm scared to go and rewatch them, because maybe my brain now would be like,
you'd hate it.
Why did I like this so much? You know,
what was your favorite? Can you say the name of your favorite again? Like your
Mirai Nikki and
Mirai Nikki.
Yeah, like I like both of them equally as much. I can't really choose between them. I guess Mirai Nikki just a little bit more if I had to give one. And there's not many anime that get that high of a score. Like I don't give 10s out easily like I used to. Nowadays I do, because I just like I appreciate shit more, I guess. I don't know, like I appreciate life more and being able to like have the free time and all that kind of stuff to like enjoy anime, I guess. It sounds like really messed up. Like I'm a Vietnam vet or some shit. It's just like, yeah.
I've been through some stuff. I've seen things.
Yeah, I've seen things.
I've seen some
shit. I've seen some shit anime. That's what I've
seen some garbage. Yeah.
No, but I feel very different about you with this anime. I like slice of life. I'm not a slice of life hater. Like I know there's some people who just generally just like there's like the Gundam or the mecha anime haters, and then there's like the slice of life haters, you know, and they're like, you know, I wouldn't say I hate slice of life or I love it. I appreciate it, and I like, just like you, I feel like going through it and then, you know, watching it and enjoying it for what it is, and then feeling kind of like, okay, you know, like I was expecting Classroom of the Elite to be more sweaty, and it felt more slice of lifey than I would like, for example. Like that was the kind of slice of life, which is the only good example I could give right now, that I just didn't like. And for me, I wouldn't say Classroom of the Elite is a slice of life, but it had more realism to it than, like, you know, like instead, you know, like we brought up with them, like if they lose, they die, you know, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna try to. I'm trying to like avoid any spoilers, which
It was more down to earth, essentially.
Yeah, it was more down to earth than, you know, freaking Dead Man Wonderland or fucking
like all fantastical and stuff, like, you know, supernatural and all that kind of stuff.
Exactly. Or like just like it's so fucked up that no one would ever do that in real life. But you know, okay, some people might, but you know, like you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Either way, I think for me,
Mm-hmm.
I like all the points you said. I did not like the point of like them skipping stuff. I think it's great to leave stuff to the imagination. If it's a book, and some stuff like the ending of okay, oh God, I'm not gonna say which movie, but some movies end. I'm trying to say without seeing the fucking movie. Some movies end and they end on like a.
Is it a new movie?
Kinda-ish. It has Leonardo DiCaprio in it. That's all I'm gonna say. But
okay, I have no idea what it is. Not with that thing, but okay.
So, someone might know what it is. But that movie kind of ends on like a like is he nuts? I love also Black Mirror, for example. They have a lot of like awkward endings, and you have to kind of like leave it up to the imagination. And they have a lot of. I love thinking. I love thinking at the end of my shows. I love thinking more. Well, actually, I try to avoid thinking too much because I like thinking so much, even though I'm not really. I
avoid really something I like so much. Yes.
I just love sitting and thinking. I'm like the thinker, but I don't know. I just didn't. I wish they just filled in those things. Seeing Fuji get sad, or seeing them give the phone back, or introducing the mom, or like all these things. Or and actually, when you mentioned the whole like at the end of the anime, there was no kissing, right? Like there was no kiss scene or whatever. My wife actually brought that up. She was like, "Wait,
she's like, damn it, they didn't kiss."
And she was, and she didn't actually watch like the start completely. She just like jumped in like 10, 20 minutes in. So she didn't really like grasp it, but then she got him like invested, I guess, to a degree. I know she enjoyed it. So I said, she's like, yeah. But she did say like, she did say, why didn't they kiss? I'm like, they're 15, but I mean, I guess it's okay in Japan.
Did she say it in English to you?
Yeah. She doesn't speak Portuguese.
I thought she would be like how would you say why didn't they kiss in Portuguese?
Filho da puta. No. Kiss is beijo. Beijo is kiss. So I wouldn't know how to say. I could ask for a kiss, but
how do you say that in Swedish? Then how would you say why didn't they kiss in Swedish?
Varför pussar de inte? It's hard. It's hard. I have to slow it down so you guys can hear each word, but yeah.
Oh my God! Yes. Yeah. Oh man.
But anyways, yeah. So I don't know. I like it, but I also, for me, it was a con. But it was funny that you brought up because I was gonna mention it as well, like how you did. But I was gonna mention it like, and I'm not saying this because because you mentioned it, like what I'm trying to say is, I'm not mentioning it because you would have mentioned it, but I actually generally feel like it felt like it was like I was actually gonna be one of my complaints. Like literally, it was gonna be like I felt like they didn't show enough, this and this, and then you'd probably hit me with the. But what do you mean? That's like the best part because then you can. And I'm actually happy that you said it first, but also that I was gonna say it and then I thought about it already. Like you didn't change my opinion, which is great because us disagreeing. I think we both agreed when on the start of the podcast that that's probably something we would like more. Like we didn't just both agree. Like we're just.
So I can chuck you into a pit, essentially.
No, so I can chuck you into a pit by Sparta kicking your ass and saying this is Sweden, No, but no, I don't know. Like for me, I'm not saying it took away from the anime, like where it was terrible anime. Actually, the anime impressed me, if anything, and I actually did feel something for the characters, which for one movie, I would say it's pretty hard. Like people are like, movies, characters, and blah, blah, blah. But it ain't that easy in reality if you think about it, right? Like people acting like this shit is easy. Like it ain't that easy, And I think the characters overall, because I don't want to touch on the futuristicness of the show. How like the main character headphones.
I wouldn't say futuristic. I'd say modern is the word I would use. Because modern would be like our time. Futuristic would mean like past our time, essentially.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I would say it's very modern. It's a very modern anime. There's youngsters and people like even that woman. She was like the one with the blonde hair, the twin pigtails. She was like, they were talking about old, and then they played this back in the day, and then she was like, oh my God, I'm getting old. And then she started being like, she felt sad about herself because she was getting old. Like, there's so much, like, she's going through, like, I wouldn't say she's more than like 30, she might have even been like 25 or something. And she's like, oh my God, I'm already so old, And then Cherry's mom has backache. Like, they touch on so much slice of life shit, like real life shit.
Real life shit. I had backache this week, just yesterday. So.
I remember one anime I used to watch that I really like. This is my favorite slice of life anime.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to touch too much on it, but it's called Lucky Star, and one of the scenes is about them going to the beach, and as a girl, you have a bikini on, you need to make sure your bikini line is trimmed, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they talk about it, and one of them is like, I don't have hair like that down there, and then the other ones are like, what the hell? And then they talk about like periods and stuff, and I'm just like, I watched it when I was really young as well, but I kind of like understood what they were talking about already at that point. I think I've been like 16 or 17. I already knew what a period was. Not like most men. And some men still don't know. But for me, it was great to just see characters be people, even though they're fictional characters, they're still realistic in that aspect. And I don't know, for me, like, I think that was great. For me, that was great. That was like seeing like I'm back, and I'm talking about this anime now, but back to that anime, I think that was like one of my favorite parts, was just like, how they put in this stuff, like you get to see his dad come home, like fuck this dude, like this is the one anime character that I know that has a freaking dad. It feels like, everyone else's dad walked out and went to the freaking, to go get some cigarettes or some milk or
and
some
never
shit,
came back.
Never came, like, when instead it's like the whole freaking family. And God, and even if you ever see them in other shows, just like on Parents, back on Parents with Anime, they usually like, they never show their face, or they show just like a torso, or they're busy, like they're looking and doing dishes, and it's like, bye mom, see you sweetie, and then that's it. That's all the parents connect. You know what I mean? Like, fuck, like Ichigo's dad, like I don't know, like, mom or dad, like, I don't remember anything. Okay, it was a while since I seen Bleach, but
his dad was the one that he lived with. He lived with his dad. His mom was dead.
All right, okay. Well, it's spoilers. No, but it's okay. But yeah, like, and it's just like, they're irrelevant to the show completely, at least for my knowledge. I know there's something that happens in Bleach, but I'm not going to say anything. But they're kind of just like, they're not even side characters. They're just like there to say that the dude has a parent, They're never really introduced. But which, yeah, again, we already touched on it a little bit. But I did want to say that just talk about that, as well as I love, one thing I really love, right? And I find you're gonna call me Zoomer, Boomer, whatever the fuck you want to call me, Millennial, whatever.
I'm gonna be the one to call you that, or someone else.
Hear me out, right? Right? I love the phone screens, bro. How she turns off, how Smile turns off her phone, and then she notices her buck tooth, and that's the part that hit me really hard. And the fact that the screens and all that other stuff it felt so damn realistic, It felt. I don't even know. It just like the first of all, the phones are detailed. They have likes, they have text, they have like, they literally, and you could tell they didn't just like copy pasta. They didn't just copy pasta like an actual phone screen or some shit. They actually went out their way to like draw it and then 3D it, and then like, on all that extra shit. And the fact that they showed like the glare of the phone. So when Smile turned off the phone, you see like and then she like looks at herself, like she uses it like a mirror, and people do that. Like, all y'all out there listening to the podcast, y'all need to like this. If y'all motherfuckers notice y'all do that. Y'all will turn off the screen, notice it's a freaking mirror, and you start checking your teeth. You might check your hair, you might check your eyes, you might check, whatever the fuck you're checking out. You might check out if there's a xenomorph right behind you and it's about to kill you. You might use your phone for all kinds of crazy shit, right? And for me, that was great. That was like, holy shit, human touch.
Very relatable touch is the best way to put it, because like I literally was watching the anime while doing laundry and pressed like, sort of like stop lock my phone screen to like look at my reflection to see how I was looking. And it was just like a subconscious thing, because like I could see like in a reflection from one of the washers, like one of my hair was just sort of sticking out underneath my helmet from my bike helmet, and it looked kind of off. And so I locked the screen to have a look to just like fix it. And so it's very relatable, that kind of stuff. Yep. Super, super relatable. But continue.
Yeah, no, yeah. I think that was like, the very human, very relatable, modern thing that people do nowadays, and people have been doing it for a while. It's not just like nowadays, like like last 2 years. Like this is something that people have been doing since touchscreen phones have existed. Before that, we didn't really have like a portable mirror, to be honest. Only maybe women with the makeup, whatever the fuck those things are called. I want to talk about rating though. Since you did your rating, I feel like I'm obliged to do mine.
Give your batshit crazy 1 out of 10 rating. Let me just tell you something, lover.
What do you think? You don't think I'm gonna give it a 1, do you?
I don't know, to be honest. I don't know. I'm curious as to what you're gonna give it. Because like in the same sense, like I honestly, when I picked this anime, I didn't think you'd like it. Like I straight up told when I picked it, I was like, I especially when it started, because I was watching this.
Rare.
Straight up, I was like, I picked it and I was like, this is so my kind of shit. And I'm like, he is not gonna fucking like this. Like he is gonna think, wow, what the frack is. Like I honestly was expecting you to message me, because remember there's a point in time I messaged you. I was like, have you watched it yet? Like I was expecting you in the middle to like start watching. I'd be like, what the frack did you send me, Q?
I wanted to. The fuck is this shit?
But
that's funny.
I'm curious. What do you rate it exactly?
So I have a different rating in my head, and then now it kind of changed a little bit, and it's not changed like, oh well, is you heard cues. It like nothing changed it over just the fact that I had a thoughts of a rating during watching it. Like how we go through like some anime like halfway through, and you already had like, you remember like previous podcasts we talk about like a rating that you had, and then it might have changed.
Yeah.
I have that as well. My first initial rating, I thought it was, I don't know, I felt like there was some things it did like the whole like skipping stuff that it, I guess, obviously lost points on from me. And your opinion on it does, I guess, help to a degree, but my final rating on it, I think, is gonna be, I think the camera, the graphics and the camera, and just because I am a graphics whore, and this is actually my honest rating. Like this is not me like getting influenced. This is not me saying, oh, it needs to be a 10 because Q, or it needs to be a high rating because Q gave it a 10 or whatever. I genuinely think it deserves. I want to say, if I can watch it, I can watch it with my kid, like a teenager. I can watch it with my teenager. I can watch it with my wife. I can watch it with friends. I could just, I can pull this anime up and say, you guys think anime is weird and all about Kagebunshin no Jutsu and Bankai and shit, but let me show you what anime is about. And then I'll pull this up and they'll be like, okay, I might get into anime. This is a kind of anime that people can get into.
It's an introductory kind of series, kind of anime, I guess.
Yeah, and it's perfect because it's a movie, so you don't have to like.
You don't have to invest for like a couple episodes, essentially.
Exactly. You don't have to be like, yo, just watch 2 episodes, but just watch 2 episodes. You have to like bargain with some of your friends who don't want to do something, or whatever, workmates or whatever. But this thing, I feel like you can just say, hey, you want to watch a movie? Boom. What the fuck is this shit? And then you like watch it, and you're like, huh? Like that whole like intro with the I forgot his name now. The guy who is like Spanish, like he's like or he's like Latino. And he doesn't know how to. Yeah. He doesn't know how to like write Japanese. He only knows how to speak Japanese, which is very relatable to me in Swedish. I can read Swedish, I can speak Swedish fluently, but I can't like write it fast or like as good as I can in English. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
So, which is, I guess, also kind of relatable. People are like sick of me being able to relate to shit, but it's like this motherfucker relating to everything, bro. Fucking cats and dogs, and he's relating to motherfucking cats and dogs.
A bit of everything.
But I think apart from that, like that intro part, which is a bit crazy because that is an anime thing. There's that hectic, wild chase scene that happens in lots of anime. Well, I would like to say that at least. My rating, I think I really want to give it I'm going to round it off because I was trying to give it like a 7.5 or like an 8.5. And I think an 8, a good, strong, sturdy 8 is, I think, a really good rating.
Nice and firm,
nice and great rating. It might have been influenced because of you. Might not have been influenced. I'm not too sure.
Here's the thing. Like, sometimes when we talk about anime, I may miss something that I otherwise did not notice. Like, for example, the whole camera work thing. I think that I did not pay too much attention to the camera work in it, but you did. You paid. That was something that piqued your interest, and I think that makes it even more appealing to me. Like, even though it's a 10 for me, like considering something like that, maybe the second time I watch it, which I could see myself rewatching this, maybe the second time I watch it, I'm paying attention to the camera work, and I'm thinking like, God, Lord, like, you know, Ray's right. This camera work is brilliant. You know, the very first person shooter. You know, like essentially, like
the first stuff like that though. Remember the fucking stick?
Well, and here's the thing: I don't remember it. Like honestly, my brain. Yes, like I don't remember the intro. Like I remember, right. I remember more of what happened as the show went on, but I don't remember the intro. And that's something that I think, like, you know, I'd pay more attention to. I'd pay more attention to stuff like that. Now that you've brought it up and we've spoken about it, I may go back in and watch it again in the future. And I could see myself rewatching this, right? And pay attention to other things, other aspects of the film, you know, that I did not pay attention to in the first time around.
As our viewers would say, and this is a running meme I'm trying to keep in the show, I'm trying to say this. Trying to say this at least once every. But our viewers are probably thinking about us right now, a true shameful display of skill. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say.
Shameful display.
Shameful display. Right there. I'm sorry.
Beautiful. Yes. So honestly, yeah, this to me, great anime. About 1 hour and 27 minutes long, according to Manimalist. I think it was 1 hour and 15. I think when I was watching it seemed like it was that long. So it didn't seem that like it was pretty short for the most part to watch. Not a really long show. Rating being a PEGI 13. So they expect, like, you know, like teens and stuff, but I could easily, like you said, I could watch this with younger kids. This does not seem to have anything that they can't relate to. I shouldn't say relate to, but that would be bad for them, you know, that would that they couldn't sort of like understand or whatever have you. Like this is something you can watch with your kids. Like you can watch it with anyone, and it is very introductory to anime. So yeah, this was great. This was genuinely a great watch for me. I did not know it existed before now, and had you not said, "Oh, I don't want to watch any," I don't think I want to watch any Japanese right now, we would have done Ni no Kuni, which would have been something more up my street, and not what was originally planned. But because I couldn't get like anything else, and this was like the best looking option I found, you know, I was like, okay, well, I guess we'll watch it.
When you say looking, do you mean like front cover looking, or you
visually, like everything? Like just I basically was just like scrolling through Netflix trying to find something, and this came up, and I was just like, this looks very much intriguing. You know, because I know, like, for example, like for you don't want to watch no older anime, really. Most of the time, you don't. So, like,
yeah, it depends. But yeah, I am touchy on it. Yeah, you
are a visual whore for the most part. You know, I mean, we are gonna go back and watch some older stuff at some point, but I know for the most part, you do like your visuals. And so when I saw it, I was like, this looks very pretty. It's very it's visually appealing in that sense. You know, it's got this sort of like modern, sort of like bright colored sort of look to it. With a sort of cell shaded, sort of like 3D-ish kind of appeal. So yeah, that I was like, okay, cool, let's watch this one. And then literally after the first few minutes of it, I was like, wow, this is a good choice, you know. So yeah, easily. And I'll be honest with you, I actually started watching it before I texted you, because I started watching it, and then I started off to like I think I was playing it, and I got, you know, like when you play a little bit of something just to like see what it's about. Started playing it, started getting into it, and I was like, shit, I need to text you back. Like, so that's what I texted you back. I was like, hey, like, this is all we're watching. Like, this is, you know, words bubble off like soda pop, and it's so cute. Like I have to say, like, I do love the cuteness of this anime, and yeah, hands down, a high recommendation. I don't have anything else to say about it. I think that's as much as I can put on the anime. If people want to have any questions about what, you know, about it more, or want to bring up any other aspects, please do comments, like drop it in the comment section below, and we'll respond to those comments. But for me personally, I think that's as much as I can add. What about you?
I have something that's a little bit off topic. Just the first anime that we were gonna watch, or the first movie, I guess we were gonna watch, I actually ate through it by I think I went to like almost an hour.
Which first movie are you talking about? Ni no Kuni?
Yeah, Ni no Kuni. We were gonna, like, I already ate through like a whole hour of Ni no Kuni.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
But you told me you didn't. You were the one who like, oh, it's Japanese. You
I
got
know,
through an
but
hour.
I was watching and I was like, look, if Q's gonna tell me no, I'm gonna still watch it. You know.
Wow. Now I
I'll
feel
just see
kind
if
of
I can get
bad.
away with just no. Don't feel bad because hey, look, I enjoyed both of them, but I just didn't feel like reading right now because my eyes are actually killing me. I'm not gonna like shit up, not even because I'm lazy. At that point, it was just literally my eyes are just killing me. I don't know, old age or my glasses need tuning or some shit. I think it's my glasses, but yeah, no. I did eat through like almost, I think it was like 45 minutes to like an hour somewhere. I remember pausing and it was like, oh shit, I'm ready. Like I was like, I moved the mouse to see and I was like, oh shit, I'm already 40 minutes in. So I was definitely past the 40-minute mark.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was like 41 or 42 minutes. So I could have like probably watched another 5 to like 20 minutes. So
Ni no Kuni,
yeah.
if I'm correct, Ni no Kuni is like a 2-hour long anime though.
Ni no Kuni, at least what I saw, it was an hour 48 minutes. So I was Yep.
I just clicked on it. Sorry guys for the background noise. I just clicked on it to just see.
Oh no, we didn't have anything.
Okay, because like, well, I just wanted to just check to see the size of it from Netflix, and it just started making a weird noise, like the music playing and stuff like that. So yeah, an hour and 46 minutes. Yeah, that's the run time. I thought that was long. That's like almost 2 hours. Yeah. And especially again, like I had chibis with me, so it was like trying to find that time to squeeze in the anime. Like literally, I literally had just enough time to watch the anime, go to the laundry, come back, and barely finish shoving food down my throat before we started. So it was really good that this is what we ended up watching in the first place, because I don't know if I'd be able to finish any of the other stuff. So especially because I was watching it today. But yeah, I liked it. Anything else, or are we good with this one?
Well, I'm happy that you liked it.
Mm-hmm. So, I'm happy you liked it too.
Yeah. I'm happy that that's how we like ended up watching it. I should say more, in terms of like, like actual like it just happening. Like we probably wouldn't have watched it if shit like that happened, I guess. But
circumstances made it happen. Yeah.
There was one thing I don't remember for the fucking life of me, but I didn't actually write it down. It was something I didn't. I remember it was something I did like. It was like something. I was like, oh, why is this so generic? I think it could have been like I don't know if it was negative. That's because I don't remember. It was something negative about the actual anime, or if it was that why don't other anime do this? I think it was the parents thing. But apart from that, no, I don't think I have anything else to say. I think it was great. I think my score holds true. I think if maybe I watch it in the future, like future me might like it even more, maybe, if anything.
Same.
It was very colorful. I'm not a big fan of like super colorful anime, but I can't complain at the same time. Like I need to do some giving and taking, I think, and yeah, I think it was great. I think it was good. Definitely watch. I definitely recommend like Chainsaw Man, I wouldn't recommend to people like off the fly. I have to know what kind of person you're, but this is the kind of anime I think most people can watch and get away with. Oh, actually I remember. Actually, no, I actually fucking remember. One thing I could touch on is that and this is a negative thing, but it's not a terrible negative thing. So don't take this like.
Oh, I'm already putting on my fighting gloves.
All right, okay, good. Put on your gloves. I'll get the punching back because I let you punching me at all. I think for me, what I really don't like is that I know we're watching anime. I know they're usually in Japan, and I know this. I feel like I've seen this kind of show before in terms of how to put it, like I've seen this either in series anime or movie anime, like other sides of life or other movies, like other anime that are like movies. I can't tell you for the life of me which movies are like this or similar to this. And what I mean by that, it's the whole like summer like love anime, right? It's very generic. I was expecting a little bit more. I would say it's the best generic anime, but I do lose some love because I feel like I've seen it before. Now that being said, I do think if you like that, that's fine. Yeah, and I'm more picky. I do think that it's not so bad where I would give it a negative rating on. That was something I just remember watching it and I was like, yeah, they're probably gonna fall in love. Yeah, And I'm thinking to myself, like, I know Q is gonna ship this so hard.
It's like been there, done that kind of thing,
Yeah. And I can't say it's like I know people are listening in post. Guys, all of you are listening in post. Firstly, like this shit, comment to YouTube. Make sure you like this, this video, and go check out our other contents. Please, it's great. You'll love it. We'll if you want to see more slice of life anime or movie anime specifically, leave a comment on which movie and slice of life or any kind of anime you guys prefer. Maybe your favorite anime. We would probably cover it at some point really soon, because we're doing this shit twice a week, every Wednesday and every Sunday at
8 p.m.
I say GMT +2. Just change your time zone to GMT +2 and then know it's 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock UK time.
Yeah, BST. For me, it'll be 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Time, so.
But that's it. Generic. Is it bad to be generic? No. Like I would be like the person that's complaining that Transformers movies are all bang bang shoot.
I was about to give you that exact same thing, because you're the one who's like, that's what you go for a Transformers movie for. And I think when it comes to romantic films, like for me as a fan of romantic stuff, it's kind of what you expect. It's like when you watch a romantic comedy, they're gonna, like, romantic comedies generally follow the same story beats. The characters get to know each other at the beginning. They there's a conflict, they break apart, and it's like, okay, they'll never see each other again, and then somehow just at the end they come back together and it's all sugar sweet and everything, and they play the nice music and everyone feels good about themselves after. Like, that's what you watch a romantic comedy for. It's an emotional roller coaster in that sense. Now, if you've watched romantic comedies before, you know it's coming. I knew it was coming, but did I enjoy it still? Yes. And it's the same, like, for example, like a Call of Duty game. It's like with a Call of Duty game, it's like there's going to be some pew-pews and all this sort of stuff, and you know it's coming, but did you enjoy it nonetheless? Yeah, you play FIFA, you play eFootball, again, same thing. The types of game, the types of entertainment that you enjoy, it's going to be enjoyable no matter what. And I think we've gotten to a point nowadays where almost nothing is a surprise anymore. Like, it's like watching a horror movie now. I think it's very difficult for me to get scared from a horror movie nowadays, because I've seen it all. Or playing a horror game and being scared, like, I've seen it all. So, like, going in and watching a new modern horror. Now, will I go and watch a horror movie? No, I'm not choosing to watch that. I'm not interested in that, right? But if I watch a horror movie nowadays, will I lose any sleep over it? Nah, I'm going to bed normal. I'm not even gonna blink. Like, I'm accustomed now. I'm old enough. I've seen enough of these. Or an action movie. I've seen enough of those. And every now and then I do come across something that maybe surprises me, but that's a rarity. That's a huge rarity. And I think why I gave this film a 10 is because for me, I felt it made me really emotionally emote to the characters. Like, I really did emote to those characters in the film, and they themselves, the way in which those characters were easy to emote to, I think it was because of all of the points that you made at the beginning, the fact that it was so relatable, with the whole setting of it being a modern setting, the cell phones, the streaming, all that kind of stuff. For me is a very relatable part of my current modern day life. Seeing all of that in an anime was like, ooh, like, I didn't actually think to myself in the moment where I was watching, like, ooh, this is cool, but subconsciously I felt comfortable with it, and seeing those characters go through circumstances and situation and their own troubles and their own issues while experiencing a similar experience that you or I could experience. That made me much more attached or emotionally invested in their whole sort of journey throughout the film. And that's why it's a 10 for me. It's because I got emotionally invested. Most films nowadays, a lot of the stuff that I watch nowadays, I don't actually get emotionally invested at all. Like, I'm watching it or I'm partaking in it, and I'm just like, I'm not emotionally invested. And it's not just because of the fact that because there are films that focus on modern stuff, but they do it so poorly, it's trash to me. Like, I'm like, I didn't really need this.
It's like no modern person actually acts like this.
It's not even that. It's like taking a specific type of film and trying to put modern stuff in it. It's sort of like, I don't think it works for this type of film. I think for this specific film, for this particular story that they were telling, it worked. Because like if they weren't looking for a record and they were looking for, say, example, a CD or something, someone would have found it easily because, well, Google and all that kind of shit, right? A record is a very old vintage thing, and some of those things were printed in limited quantity, more limited quantity. So finding something like that was a challenge for them, and even throughout the film, there are moments.
I was thinking that they could have why didn't just like Google it, since they all had.
I thought the same thing as well. They didn't think about that.
Not that I'm taking away from the show. Like maybe he wanted that one, or maybe like you said, it was vintage. But yeah, go on.
I thought the same. I was like, why aren't they searching online? I was thinking, why isn't she, as a popular idol girl, just reaching out to her fan base and saying, hey, like, yo, like find this shit for me, right?
Yeah.
In the end,
she actually did.
She did after a while. Like, but I thought about it like crazy. The minute that she got expressed interest, and I was like, oh, she's gonna she could just hook them up with her idol shit, But in the end, she got to the point where they did their research and they found out piece by piece and they pieced it together. They had their little romantical journey to that, and I liked it. I genuinely liked that whole aspect of it. So. Was it a film where it was predictable in the sense like I kind of knew everything was going? Yeah, for the most part. But did I enjoy it? Yes, I enjoyed the hell out of it. In the same way, like, for example, I kind of knew where Cyberpunk was going on and watching it, but I enjoyed the hell out of Cyberpunk. And that's essentially it for me. It's like I can enjoy a film even if I know where it's going, if it's done well enough. And the things that it did well enough. Yes, it could have done things differently in some ways. I think what I liked more was that there wasn't a whole crap ton of exposition in this film. I find a lot of films what do you mean by exposition? So essentially, exposition is like you're watching a film and the characters are like telling you every single thing that's happening. Oh, we're gonna go to this park so we can find this park thing, and then we, the characters, are gonna do this other thing that's gonna, or they're telling you about the world. So we exist in a world where mutants have attacked and they've killed everything, and unless of course if it's like a voiceover or something. In some films it works. But
I think it all depends on how it's done.
How it's done. But I think a lot of some films are really bad at the way in which they offer exposition. Like it's so much saying than showing you what's going on. And I think I genuinely
don't tell me.
Show me, don't tell me, because that's how you emotionally attach yourself to something. Like I remember a film that I watched a while ago, and it was called Life is Beautiful. And I remember watching that film, and it was more show than tell. This is an older film. This is an older style of film. It's about 2 hours long, an hour and 50 something minutes. Right. And the style of it is it builds slowly. It's a slow build. It's getting there to a point, and then there's that crescendo at the end, and it's like you start emoting and feeling for the characters. It's that same thing. It's that similar. I wouldn't say it's exactly the same, obviously, but it's got that similar sort of build to the story beats and everything like that. Where you start to have these characters and they're building and they have this stuff going on, all that kind of stuff, and then you get to that point where it's like, wow, this makes sense now. I get what's going on here, and then you start to feel for what's going on, because it's sort of like letting you get attached to these people. You got attached to Sherry and Smile throughout the film. You saw their own, and especially because there were so many relatable things. I personally walk with headphones on sometimes. I don't want people to bloody well talk to me. I'm not listening to anything. I put it on because I don't want anyone to talk to me in public. I've done that shit. Right. Because sometimes people just come to you to talk to you about nonsense, or they come to ask you for something, and you're just like, I don't want to interact with anyone today. I just want to go do my shopping and go home.
I see.
And so,
I was actually going to ask you, because you talked about the emotionally invested stuff a few times, and the reason why I'm asking is because for me personally, I feel like, I don't know, maybe I'm just that simple. I'm a real simpleton to that degree, but maybe either I don't care or I get emotionally invested very easy. I'm not too sure myself.
Right.
If you could maybe elaborate that somehow. I'm guessing you're touching on it right now as well. With, with the headphones and
I think the whole emotional investment thing comes from like being able to relate to the characters. So with what they're going through, like for example, you mentioned the whole thing about like your insecurities with regards to your scar. And seeing her hiding her teeth and understanding where that insecurity comes from, you feel for that character, like you understand where she's coming from. You think to yourself, I get you, like I feel you, girl. And so when they're going through the moments, like for example, where she loses her mask and she's scurrying around and oh shit, I don't have the mask on, you kind of feel for it, and in the same sense, like for example, like when Shetty has left and and she's live streaming for him and everyone's the other guy's like, oh, you know what, this is a lot of work, I hope Sherry's looking at this, and she's like, yeah, I'm sure he is, and then you have that moment where he kind of like comes back and Sherry's up there on the stage and he builds up all the confidence, he's running, he's got all adrenaline running and all that kind of stuff pumping, and he gets to the top of the stage and he takes the mic and he has to speak, and then that's the point in time where he slows down because he's like, holy shit, I can see the whole world, all these people in front of me, look, they're staring at me. And he goes red in the face and he has to say what he has to say. And I've had an experience. I've had to stand on the stage and speak to people, and it's nerve-wracking. It's like, holy shit. Once you start going, you're going. Like, and this is one of the things that they showed, like with Sherry, is like once he started going, you could see the redness leaving him. But at the when it's about getting started, essentially. That start is terrifying. It is mind-blowingly terrifying to get started. I remember the first time I had to go up on a stage and give a speech, and I was slurring my words, and I was so uncomfortable, and I was so worried, and I'm looking at my parents, I'm just like, holy shit, like this is, it is hard, it is really, really difficult. It is. And I think for the most part, it never gets easy. Like, I think for me, it never has. I whenever I have to go up in front of a bunch of people and give a speech or whatever, even like teaching a class, it's like I get in front of them and the first few seconds is nerve-wracking until I start going. And then once I start going, I get into it and I'm fine. But just before I actually start doing, or, that first few seconds, it is freaking terrifying because I'm just thinking like, holy shit, what do they think about me? And then you're also thinking about a lot of other aspects, because we human beings tend to think other people pay more attention to us than they actually do. We're thinking, oh, what if they're looking at my hair and think it's terrible? What if they're looking at my hat? It's terrible. What if they're looking at my trousers? It's terrible. When realistically, people don't give a shit about half of what was going on. Yeah. They're more concerned with what's going on with them as well. Like, they're all thinking the exact same thing you're thinking. Oh my God, oh my God, someone's looking at my teeth. Someone's looking at my hand. So like, I was talking to my brother yesterday, and he's telling me about this girl that he was chatting with in a club, and one of his mates came up and said something to the girl, and it was something along the lines of like, wow, girl, your eyebrows look really, really messed up or whatever have you, right? And he said the way he said it about her eyebrows, like the girl instantly started crying. Now that must have been an insecurity for her. She probably spent a lot of time doing her eyebrows up before she left home. And I think he said something like, those eyebrows look like he drew them on or something like that. And she started crying, right? And in the same way, like my brother, he tends to wear his hat a lot. Like last night, we went out and he was wearing his hat, and everyone was saying like he looks so much better without the hat on, which is true. He does look way better without the hat on, but he likes wearing the hat. And for him, what he said is he feels comfortable in it. Like it makes him feel a bit more it makes him feel a bit more at ease to have the hat on. Like he's concerned for whatever reason. Like the hat makes him feel comforted, but at the same time, that comforting means that he doesn't look as good as he looks without it. So or he looks a bit more
maybe he's insecure about like balding or something.
No, he doesn't have bald and stuff. He's just like, he wears this hat for some reason, and the hat looks very thug to me. Like when I see him with the hat on, I'm like, bro, that does not look good. But when he takes the hat off, like he's a total lady killer. Like, like ladies are totally checking him out like when he's not wearing the hat. So I don't know if maybe he's doing it to like avoid the ladies or something like that or what. But for him, it's like, yeah, like I need to take this. I like to have my hat on. I feel comfortable with it on my head. Whereas for me, it's like, damn, bro, like you could be slaying right now with this hat off your head, you know. But yeah, it is what it is with regards to that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's that relatability with regards to the anime that makes it very easy to emote to the characters and actually give a shit and care about what their experiences are like, and then just have emotions, you know. Like, it's really hard for me to have emotions while watching films, but this was a film that was easy to do with. Like, I actually emotionally give a shit, and I was capable of probably shedding a tear if I was in a different setting other than a laundromat.
I find it very funny that you bring this up. Or I mean, well, I guess we brought it up together, but the fact that this kind of stuff, for me, I never thought about it being like a how to put it, something that I think would make me like or dislike a show. You know what I mean? Like, I've never I don't know, like my favorite anime, like the characters are so unrealistic for me, at least, that I don't know if I can like them. But I do have to say though, and I guess it's my final note on this show, because I know we want to wrap this up. It did make me like the show more or less. I mean, if anything, maybe did affected by maybe me liking it more. But again, back when I found out that she was a streamer, and my wife was sitting next to me and we were watching it together, and I was just like I literally said out loud, almost I won't say it to the top of my voice, but pretty loudly, I said, "Whoa, you know." Look, she's a friggin' streamer. That's so modern, you know. I literally said that. I shit you not. I literally used those words, like literally. I thought it was very cool. I was like, wait, what? She's doing the whole like out in public. I'm like, yeah, and I'm like explain to Melina. Yeah, you know, she's one of those kind of streamers, you know, one of those like live streamers that goes out and actually does stuff in real life. You know, she's not like gamer streamer. Yeah. Those IRL, because I have to explain to her, you know, because she's not well versed in the streamer sphere, and she's like, what is this girl doing with her phone? It's like she knows who maybe Pokimane Belle Delphine is, but she doesn't know like Pokimane, or she doesn't know any other like live streamers or you know, like, or any streamers in general, like who just stream like without going actually like outside. So yeah, I just, you know, I had to break it down for her, and I thought it was very very funny to a degree, right? But yeah, that's I think the characters themselves are also intelligent, and this does fall into the same category for me with you with JJK, for example, where it's like, you know, it's, you know, you've seen them fucking beat them down, show an anime once, you've seen them all pretty much, you know, to a degree, right? And this one did feel different, like is my main point. It did feel like something other than, you know, than like it wasn't just like, oh, okay, they love each other and, you know, high school kid on summer break kind of feeling, but it actually did feel good. So because of how intelligent all the characters were. But yeah, that's my take on it.
I think that's wonderful, and with that, I think that's where we wrap the show up. Thank you very much for those of you who watched or listened to this podcast. Feel free to give your feedback in the comment section below
as well.
Let us know what you think about the anime and the show, and you know, where we can improve or whatever else. You know, any feedback is valid and appreciated, if I do say so myself. Sure. I think with that, Rhett, any last words, or should we just go with the
what do we do next week? Since we kind of know, can we tell them, or should we just say last words? And
I think
last words. Boom. That's it.
Yeah, let's go last words. I don't want to say what we're gonna watch next week. If you want to know what's happening next, on Wednesday, come in. Then just tune in at the same time, same place, and you'll find out what we're talking about on here. But with that, guys, thank you very much for watching this episode. You can find Rare pretty much at Rare Entry. That's with replacing the E's in Rare and Entry with trees. You can find me at LP Garden. That's Garden Talk to You. You can find us pretty much everywhere else at Simply Binge or Simply Binge UK. And so with that, guys, thank you very much for listening to this episode of the NSM Cast, episode 12, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.